I think that the American Athletic Conference had a pretty good week this week. Now, it's a group of five conference. Most people don't pay attention to the group of five conferences, but at the same time, this is, in all honesty, the conference that's got the team that should be able to get a college football playoff berth. Think about that for a minute. South Florida beat Florida. They beat Boise State. They honestly come away looking really good. And the teams that lost, except for one, actually didn't come away looking badly. So we're going to take a look at, we're just going to go over these scores and talk about how, the American actually is looking like the best group of five conference this year. And they really are. Yes, they don't have Notre Dame, and UConn, strangely, is somewhat coming across as somewhat decent. I mean, you're looking at going into this week, there really was no group of five team in the top 25, which is idiotic considering South Florida, you know, beating a top 25 team. But after this week, hopefully that will change. But let's get into it. Also, if you love you some college football, which is one of the primary sports I cover, and actually the one that I love covering the most, hit like and subscribe because we're going to make this year a good one. Here we go.
Hey folks, this is Paul with Redneck Sports. I want to thank you for viewing my video, and I want to give you one thought process. There was a famous coach at University of Tennessee by the name of General Robert Neyland. He had 6 maxims, but number 2 maxim is what everybody should apply to their life. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That's how to live your life right there.
I'm not going to break it down real heavy. I mean, you take a look at this. Temple beat Howard 55-7. Okay, it's surprising that Temple's done that good, but they 55-7, that's impressive. Texas State did get a win over UTSA. Yes, UTSA is, but it was 36, it was 43 to 36. Texas State, hey, they've been doing some interesting things. UTSA, one of those teams that I was already saying is probably going to be mid-level for the conference. This wasn't an embarrassing loss anyway. It was an offensive shootout. Not a lot of defense in that game, but hey, Navy 38-24, one of the top teams, in my opinion, in the conference this year. Another shootout. And UAB didn't embarrass themselves, even though they lost by 2 touchdowns. Getting 24, North Texas 33, Western Michigan 30. Yes, I know Western Michigan's down. North Texas is not going to be one of the standout teams of the conference, but hey, it's a MAC school. North Texas did what they needed to do. The big one. South Florida 18, number 13, in my opinion, overranked. Florida 16. Everybody is talking about this game. Alex Golish has set his sights on being far better this year, and I think he's showing that he's done it. Florida Atlantic, okay, they are what they are, but still, 56-14 over Florida A&M. Yeah, they beat up on a smaller school, but them getting a win is a good thing for them. East Carolina 56, Campbell 3. That's not unimpressive. It really isn't. It is not unimpressive that they got their offense going. Memphis took down Georgia State 38-16. Georgia State seems to be having a down year, but Memphis is needing to flex its muscles because they want that top spot. So they've got a rough schedule for them. Tulane in a close one against South Alabama, 33-31. South Alabama showed up last year. They've shown that they've got a interesting team dynamic there, and this may have been a decent year for them. Plus, it was at South Alabama. Hey, the Green Wave are showing a few weaknesses, but seriously, that was a good win for them out of conference. Get the practice in, get what they need to do. Now, a game that I thought would be far closer. I thought the Rice Owls had got their act in gear after seeing last week beating Louisiana, but 35-9 going down to Houston. Hey, their defense was did decent holding Houston there. You know, maybe they put out all they could last week. I'm kind of sad about this loss. I was really hoping that Rice could have beat them. I thought they could, but unfortunately they couldn't. I got that one wrong. I'll admit it. And a surprise game. I wouldn't have even predicted this one. I wouldn't have even come close to this. Army beating Kansas State 24-21. Seriously, this was a good game. Why? Because Kansas State is still a power conference team. And even though yeah, people are talking about firing their head coach, they're 1-2 on the season. They almost got beat by North Dakota. Kansas State is down this year, and it's the right time for Army to go in there and do what they did at K-State's home. Charlotte 3, North Carolina 20. This was not that embarrassing. And then think about it. Simple fact that they held North Carolina to 20. Charlotte's rebuilding to what they want to be. They've got a good coach. It's going to take them a minute, but them going toe to toe with North Carolina like that, and North Carolina only being able to come away with 20, shows that that defense is going to be scary in when against any of the group of five schools. In a not embarrassing loss, Tulsa 14, New Mexico State 21. Hey, let me tell you something. This is a Tulsa team that is in rebuild mode. Trey Lamb, I've already covered this in my Navy Tulsa thing. He's got a lot of things he's got to do at that team with that team. I've already talked about this also in my Tulsa preseason video. A lot to do. New Mexico State, in all honesty, is looking like if they stay on their track, they could go to a bowl game. Honestly, this was not embarrassing. This was more of learning offenses. That's what it was. They had just come off a win against Abilene Christian, which is not a bad FCS school. I think Tulsa is just needing to get their identity right. They don't need to play two quarterbacks. Um, I mean, when you take a look at what was done last week, East Carolina barely got beat by North Carolina State. UAB got a win, even though Army did lose to Tarleton State. That one was embarrassing. Charlotte just got blown up by App State. 34-11 isn't massive, but then there was Tulane just showing anger at Northwestern. That showing the anger was well worth it. And I think a lot of their energy was spent last week for this week's game. Texas A&M having a hard fight against UTSA. Mem- Memphis did what they did. You know, this is a this is a conference that has a lot of upside. And in all honesty, if you're not watching it, you're doing badly. Now, let's take a quick look at what's going on next week. Memphis and Troy are going at it. Memphis should win this one, but Troy is not some at Clemson. Troy is not a team to even take to not pay attention to. Troy can sneak up on you. Uh, Temple in Oklahoma. I don't think that Temple's got a chance in this game. UTSA will probably get their first win. They've got Incarnate Word coming in. Should get their first win. They've had a rough couple of games. North Texas, Washington State. To be perfectly honest, I think Cougars of Washington State should probably have this game, but Mean Green are not going down easy by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's going to be a game worth watching. Both are 2-0. South Florida and Miami. Now, that is probably going to be the game of the week for anybody who's watching AAC football, even AAC or ACC football should be watching this game because South Florida is no joke. Alex Golich has got them going good. Now, Charlotte has a chance of getting their first win. They've got Monmouth Hawks coming in. FCS team, it is what it is. I think that it's, should be a good first win for Charlotte. Florida International and Florida Atlantic. All honesty, I don't know where to go on this game. I Both teams are what they are. I think Atlantic's probably got a little bit of a advantage, but probably not. Prairie, A&M, Rice. Rice should get back to having a winning season at that point. Coastal Carolina and East Carolina. I think East Carolina is just a little bit better, but Coastal is not a team to play around with either. Navy Tulsa, I've already given that one. More than likely, that's going to be Navy. Duke Tulane. To be honest with you, it should be Duke, but Tulane is not even a. That's not going to be a joke game. And unfortunately, the Fighting Gophers of UAB are going to be playing the Zips of Akron. Could be putting UAB back to having a winning record, but who knows? When you've got two teams like that playing each other, it could end up 0-0 for 50 overtimes and nobody gets that win. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you're not paying attention to what is going on in the American Athletic Conference, well, you're messing up. Um, Memphis, when you're looking at this, Memphis, South Florida, Navy, and Tulane, all three should be in the running to for still be in the running for conference title. Army, mm, I they're just playing weird this year. Could they do it? Maybe, but I doubt it. Uh, Temple, UTSA, North Texas, Charlotte, Atlantic International, Rice. Rice is one of those teams that they've they've still got a lot of rebuilding to do. Um, there's a lot of there's some teams. East Carolina could even be a dark horse in my opinion. Um, I really do think that they could be a dark horse in this. Uh, that's the wild part of this. UAB just they are what they are. Um, Seriously, they are what they are. I know international is Conference USA, but that's going to be a big time game for them. Um, Dealing with Atlantic because they need some positive momentum. But Atlantic, honestly, I don't know what to say about them. They, you know, I just don't know what to say about them. They could do something. They could decide, oopsie, nope. I don't know. But right now, you've got four teams that have a valid point in saying that they could win the conference, and this could literally propel them into the college football playoff. Or it could just be that they just aren't able to do it. But you tell me what you think. I honestly think now, right now, I'm saying South Florida is probably, because of how they've been playing, are probably going to do it. They've got a tough schedule, but I think they can do it. But like I said, you tell me what you think. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.
I want to thank you for watching my video. And if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, and comment. Y'all have a good day now.